Hello guys, this is Donald's Movies, and welcome to the World of Warcraft Lore Q&A number 66. The question for today's video is by Philip, and he asks, what do you think how the Burning Legion will end? Will Sargeras be killed by mortal players or some lower mortal from Azeroth, or will he be killed by other titans? Maybe he won't die, but just vanish, or will he join the old gods versus other titans? There are so many options, what do you think? Okay, so in order for me to answer on how the Burning Legion will end, I will try to give a possible scenario on how they would show up and how the entire thing together will end. Now, in many of my videos, I've talked about the Burning Legion and the ongoing threat. I believe like half of my Q&As have at least some Burning Legion question, and yes, we have defeated him twice. Sargeras was banished and Archimonde was killed, although it is not fully certain if he was killed, even though I think that he was like killed. But it does not mean that the Burning Legion is still not out there in huge numbers just waiting to start the final Burning Legion invasion where they will get rid of Azeroth once and for all. At this point, I'm almost entirely certain that we will see a Burning Legion invasion. A lot of people say it will be like the final expansion, since the Burning Legion is like the prime evil in the world, but that doesn't really have to be the case. Maybe there is something more with the old gods and the void, although that is a story for another time in another video. I mean, I've talked about the old gods and the void in the past few Q&As. But the biggest case for a new invasion are two things. First is Vrathion, and that is something I talked about a lot in the previous video about Vrathion and his entire prediction and the defensive world of Azeroth, which you can learn more about, as I said in the previous video. And the second part is that the Burning Legion just does not want to be defeated. They don't want to be defeated by such a small force of Azeroth. I mean, you have a force that is so powerful throughout the entire universe, and they're led by a Dark Titan, and they have destroyed countless worlds, and countless races have been enslaved, and then they get stopped by a relatively small world. Like Azeroth is very tiny compared to other worlds, and they even got stopped on Azeroth 2 times, and it kinda ruins their reputation. I mean, who is going to be scared of the Burning Legion when such a powerful force as they claim to be can be stopped by mere mortals? So my speculation is that the final invasion will be the last invasion, and that this time they will kinda go all in. They won't send like a certain part of the forces, that they will use all of their forces on the world of Azeroth, because the first one, like the first invasion, was just like a regular invasion. The second one, they were a bit more cautious and they started fiddling with the mortals on the world in order to weaken it for the invasion, even though that did not really work because the Scourge defected and they started doing their own thing. So now, what I think they would do is that they would try to weaken the world in a way, just as they did before, and then they would go in full force in order to finally conquer the world of Azeroth, which is why I think Sargeras will actually show up on the world this time. I mean, Sargeras is considered to be the prime evil, and he was once a very strong titan. He was even stronger than the other titans, and then he got corrupted, and instead of building worlds, he wanted to destroy worlds and destroy all of the titans' work. And then he was defeated barely, but it is said that he's still alive and he's just waiting for the opportunity to return, which is why I think the last Burning Legion invasion will be the most epic one, as maybe Sargeras will show up in person, and since we don't really have the aspects or any crazy forces that could defend us, we would really need some outside help, which could mean that the Titans could return to the world of Azeroth and finally put the end to the Dark Titan and stop their fallen brother. Now, in your question, you talked about the old gods, and that could be another thing, because the old gods might finally break free and join in with Sargeras, which could be a possible scenario, even though the Burning Legion and the old gods aren't exactly best friends. I mean, yes, they're both evil, but they have different goals and different things they want to do, and it's not like the old gods and the Burning Legion are some sort of allies. But the old gods might see the Burning Legion as the only way to actually break free, and maybe the first thing the Burning Legion could do this time as they invade Azeroth is breaking free the old gods, as we all know how powerful they are, and we can't stop the Burning Legion and the old gods. So obviously in no way could we like defeat them ourselves with the Alliance and the Horde, and as I said, I'm kinda seeing the Titans returning and fighting on our side to finally stop the evil and to kinda revenge all the worlds that the Burning Legion has destroyed and the old gods. Now, another possible scenario, or at least in addition to the current scenario, is that we could travel to the world of Argus, because a lot of people are saying that the world of Argus is now the main base of the Burning Legion, so maybe we won't really destroy Sargeras on the world of Azeroth, maybe he won't show up on the world of Azeroth, but instead we could deflect the Burning Legion attack like the initial attack, and then we could go through the portal just like we did on Draenor, and then we go to the world of Argus and face Sargeras there and like finally put the end to the Burning Legion. Like that would be a really good expansion because they can introduce like a new world and we will finally fight the Fabled Burning Legion, which is kind of the center of the Warcraft universe. That is like the biggest thing currently in the Warcraft universe. But then again, I mean, there's just countless scenarios and ways we could face the Burning Legion, although I'm almost entirely certain that the third invasion would be like the biggest one by now, and that it won't end just by having the Burning Legion stopped and then going back and planning again to like take the fight to them and like completely destroy them and getting rid of the prime evil in the Warcraft universe. Now, as I said at the start of the video, a lot of people are thinking this is going to be the final expansion and that we will finally get rid of the evil and the Azeroth will live like happily ever after. But I don't think that has to be the case. I mean, that could be the case, but it doesn't have to be, because maybe we defeat the Burning Legion and then we just realize that the Burning Legion was a puppet of some bigger evil and that there is something much more evil than the Burning Legion. As I said, something maybe with the Void, maybe like a master of the old gods, maybe there's like a big old god that is like the prime evil in the universe, because it is said that the universe was created when the light and the shadow collided, and we know a bit more about the light, but we don't really know too much about the Void, so maybe there could be something more evil, and maybe the universe is much bigger than we think. Alright, that is all I have for this Q&A. I hope that answered your question, and do leave your questions for the next video in the comment section below, and you can also leave it on Facebook and Twitter, and also leave your suggestions for the future videos and what you would like to see on the channel. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already to the channel, as it really helps out and keeps all the videos going. And thanks a lot for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and see you next time.